Now, before we go any further, let's make sure that we review our notes. So if you have not been taking notes up to this point, I strongly recommend that you start. If you have been taking notes, let's compare notes to see what we have so far. And really, when you think about it, coming out of the basic static analysis portion, we're not going to have a ton to go off of, but there are a few things of interest. So just to briefly cover some of the things that I saw in the basic static analysis portion, we of course got the file hash, we have the SHA-256 and the MD5 sum hash, which are right here. We also submitted this to VirusTotal, but there were no results at the time of submission. This may be different by the time that you're taking the course, but for right now, there are no results for these two file hashes. Now, some of the more interesting pieces of information that we found, we have the strings and the floss output from this binary. And right off the bat, we have some inferences and maybe some hypotheses of what could be happening with this binary. We don't have anything definitive, of course, but we do want to make sure that we're being very scientific and recording some of the things that we extract out of the binary. And right off the bat, the strings that we have coming out of the binary may be very telling about what's going to happen in the next phase. And we don't want to say anything definitively yet, but we will be taking these strings into the next phase of analysis and verifying to see if any of them hold any weight. And of course, when we reviewed the IAT and looked at it in PE view, we saw that there were a few import address table calls to some API functions. Of note, we found shell exec, internet open URL A, and download from URL. Now, each of these could indicate malicious functionality inside of the binary. Again, it is too early to tell, but we'll keep that in mind for when we move into the basic dynamic analysis portion. And I'd just like to remind you, note keeping in this is so important. So make sure that you're keeping good notes the whole time. So we're going to move into the next phase of analysis, and we're going to expand on that as well.